Welcome to the Trading Bell Show. I'm glad you've joined us and I hope you're keeping well. Now, when it comes to matters, food and everything that you consume, maybe you're just thinking food, many other products as well that you use, you may not know that there is a component that is quite important. We're talking matters palm oil. And this conversation is quite ripe right now in the country, but I want us to veer off to just focus on matters production and ensuring that this can change the ecosystem of this country. And what has just happened in this country is that we just had an amazing forum, that's the Malaysian Palm Oil Forum, East Africa 2023. And I managed to request the CEO to kindly have a sit-in with us and just really elaborate to us what they were looking forward to getting and really achieve to help our own economies. But first, before we get into that discussion, let's take a look at her profile. Belvinder is a CEO of the Malaysian Palm Oil Council, a member of the International Society of Planters, and a member of the ISP Editorial Committee and ISP Panel Reviewers. She has over 28 years of experience in senior management in the field of global marketing, promotions, communications, lobbying, and issues management, having been involved in strategizing the Council's promotions, public affairs, and consumer education programs and spearheading campaigns to address issues impacting the Malaysian palm oil sector globally. She was involved in, amongst others, addressing and defeating the Truth Palm Oil Labelling Bill, which was introduced in the Australian Senate, and attempts by the French Senate to add an additional tax on palm oil referred to as Nutella tax. Belvinder graduated from the National University of Malaysia with a Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Communications, and obtained her Masters in Business Administration from the University of Strathclyde, UK. She has also attended the Harvard Executive Program. Ms. Belvinder Sron, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
First of all, welcome to Kenya. I hope you have enjoyed a bit of some sceneries around.
I have. I miss this country. I used to travel to Kenya, I think 10, 15 years ago.
Oh.
Yes, it's changed a lot for sure.
It's changed.
So it's brought back very good memories for me, and I certainly was looking forward to this trip.
And I hope you will extend some more days so that at least you can have some good views.
Yes, we are going to be here for a couple more days and we'll get to see a lot more of Kenya.
Okay.
We are going to be visiting some of the plants and the refineries here. And I'm sure it's going to be a bit more exciting for us.
All right. All right. So great. And I hope you extend your stay as well and have some more fun and watch some few animals.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about what just happened here. And you have had an amazing forum, the Malaysian Palm Oil Forum, East Africa 2023, which was a success. I saw industry leaders in the place, representatives of government as well in the place. Please provide for us an overview of the goals and objectives of this Palm Oil Forum in East Africa.
Right. When we were looking for a place to organize the Malaysian Palm Oil Forum, we thought where would be the best venue for it. And immediately, Nairobi came to mind. You know, when you look at the statistics, Kenya itself, it's a huge importer of Malaysian palm oil. So naturally, it wasn't difficult to decide that we should be here in Kenya. We should be doing more of promotion of Malaysian palm oil. And when you take Africa as a continent itself, you're looking at 1.3 billion people now, and that is going to probably expand to, you're looking at 2.4, 2.5 billion people by 2050. It wasn't difficult to even consider why should we not be having the Malaysian Palm Oil Forum in a country here in Africa, and Nairobi was definitely the place that we chose. Yeah, so we've had a very good turnout of people that came for the forum. We had a large delegation from Malaysia. I had about 25 people following the Deputy Prime Minister. And we had government officials coming along with us. We had industry people. And just as when we announced the forum, that was 3 months before the actual date, we found that people were so enthusiastic to come along with us. There was a lot of excitement because one, yes, Kenya is an important buyer of Malaysian palm oil, but many of the Malaysian companies are also keen to explore new opportunities here in Kenya. And you saw today we had about 300 people attending the forum. That was an excellent turnout. And people stayed on from morning right up to the evening when we had the panel discussion.
All right. Yeah. Great. And I'm keen to find out from you, and what key messages and outcomes did you hope to achieve, and probably did you achieve them in the event?
Well, from the discussions we had, I know that people were keen to learn more about oil palm, about opening up more plantations here. They were also keen to learn about the health benefits of palm.
Yeah.
People were also keen to learn about the successes that Malaysia has had in planting oil palm.
You're right.
Let me just take you back about what Malaysia has done in the past.
Sure.
You know, why have we become now one of the largest producers of oil palm or palm oil in the world?
Yeah.
I have to take you back to history. Oil palm was brought in from West Africa.
That was an interesting review.
Yes, that's right. So it came from the African continent, but we planted it as an ornamental plant at that time. It was just, you know, it was purely for making things beautiful out there. It was a beautiful plant. We had the first commercial planting in 1917. We had a Frenchman called Henry Fauconnier, who traveled to Malaysia because someone told him that he could make his money out in Far East. And he saw the oil palm and he said, yes, this probably could be the next crop that I would want to consider. And he planted it, and true enough today, where has it taken us? We have become the second largest producer.
Right.
It has changed the lives of people in the country, especially the smallholders. And there was a time when Malaysia was depending a lot on rubber and on tin mining.
Yeah.
Those were two large commodities produced by the country. But we also realized that we needed to diversify our economy.
Yeah.
We couldn't just depend on these two large sectors here.
Yeah.
So that's when we introduced oil palm as a crop.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of land that was opened up for farmers, and these were farmers that didn't own any land.
Yeah.
So the government decided that the farmers that didn't have land should be provided land to plant oil palm,
Yeah.
because it was a crop that could provide them a sustainable living after that.
Yeah.
And true enough, today it is a model that has been talked about by many, many countries. The World Bank at one time even recognized oil palm as a crop that would help with poverty eradication. And it happened exactly in Malaysia.
Wow.
Oil palm has helped to uplift the standard of living of so many small farmers. It is really the story of small farmers, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
People who have struggled for years and people who have seen their lives change just because of palm oil, planting oil palm as a crop.
Okay.
And this has allowed them to send their children to schools,
Yeah.
send their kids to universities. Families had a better life.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, you know, today 28% of the total oil palm area in Malaysia, which is only 5.67 million hectares that's planted with it, is owned by the small farmers. So that's an amazing story that we
a
keep
transformation.
repeating. It's a transformation that has done to the lives of the people.
You're right, and certainly we may need to hear this story more and more so that at least we can borrow from that. And, you know, speaking, I think from that elaborate answer that you've given, I pick a lot of things from there. It could form a whole discussion, but I just wanted to dwell on the transformation ability it has from where you sit. And I love the fact that you said this came from Africa first to you. From where you sit, I'm sure you can see the potential that is there. And you're here definitely with those eyes, definitely. What is this that you can see as a leveraging opportunity that Kenya, East Africa can do together with Malaysia, so that at least we can as well start tapping on the potential that you have explained now?
The opportunities are a lot. One, for example, there could be more technical collaborations.
You're right.
I know there's a lot of interest to open up areas to plant oil palm.
Yeah.
And certainly we would encourage Kenya to do that.
Yeah.
There would be collaboration in terms of providing technical expertise from Malaysia, because we have probably mastered the art how to plant oil palm in our country.
Certainly.
We have got a history of more than 100 over years for planting oil palm.
Yeah.
So there collaborations can be done in those areas, technical expertise for your people, for your farmers. We can even have your farmers coming and visiting Malaysia, coming and seeing some of the small farms that we have and coming and talking to our small farmers in our country. Just exchange of ideas, exchange of knowledge, and seeing what more you can do so that, you know, there could be benefits that could be even made for Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you see it on a global perspective, because some of the companies that you engage with are actually countries that you engage in your importation and, you know, are just having this business dealings that you have under the palm oil. And I'm keen to ask you, in terms of barriers of trade, because there was a whole conversation about us having better and better ways of trading so that if palm oil is coming from your end, we are not as well imposing tariffs on you and the likes and all that kind of thing. What is this from your purview? Can the government of the day, and even just governments of the day in East Africa, because you're here on that particular forum, what can we do so that at least these partnerships are a win-win for both of us? Anything in your purview?
Well, I wouldn't want to get into areas that, the government may have to make decisions on.
Yeah.
But certainly if you're looking at providing affordable food for your people,
yes,
it's important to then consider palm oil, because palm oil is one of the cheapest sources of food around. Affordability is important.
Okay.
Its techno-economic advantages are really very, very important.
Yeah.
Food manufacturers today like to use palm because it's cholesterol-free,
yeah,
it's trans-fat-free, and it can be, it's available all year round because it's a perennial crop. So the government has to decide what is good for its people. If I go back and look at Malaysia,
yeah,
the government decided years ago that this is an important crop because it has transformed the lives of people. It's helped in poverty eradication.
You're right.
And most important, it actually contributes a huge amount to the government revenue today, because more than 85% of what we produce is exported. Remember, Malaysia is a very small country. We only have a population of 33 million people. So whatever we produce, the 18.45 or 19 million tons, we can't consume everything. We only consume about 3.5 million tons.
Okay.
Our export markets are important. So we have to export.
Absolutely.
And that's the revenue that we receive from that. And it has contributed immensely to the revenue for the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's now veer off to the sustainable practices that accompany this business and solutions in the industry. How are you addressing concerns? Because we have people sometimes who say here and there things out there on environmental impacts within the industry.
Well, there are concerns for an agriculture crop that it may be coming from areas that are deforested. But I like to always put that into the right context.
Yes.
Is Malaysia deforesting? Let us just be very clear. 54% of the land area in Malaysia is still under forest cover. It was a commitment that the country made at the 1992 Rio Summit, and it said that it will maintain 50% of its land area in forest cover, and today we maintain more than that. We maintain 54%. Yes. Oil palm only occupies 70% of the total land area of Malaysia. So that's the first commitment we've made in terms of sustainability.
Okay.
Now, secondly, we know that consumers out there today are demanding for sustainable palm oil, and Malaysia as a country has taken it very, very seriously. We have ensured that today we want to make sure that all the plantations and all the production from the country is certified sustainable. So we now have the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil Scheme, which is a national mandated scheme where everyone has to be certified as sustainable.
Okay.
So when you say certified as sustainable, meaning the product at the end of the day, the oil that's produced is a sustainable oil because it is being produced according to certain criteria that you have to follow, some principles and criteria.
All right.
Yes.
Great.
So every consumer out there today is assured that the oil that's coming out from Malaysia is an oil that is sustainably produced. And we are very proud about that. We are proud to talk about it.
Yes.
There are not many agriculture crops that are certified sustainable. Oil palm is certified not just under one certification scheme. We have various certification schemes. We have the Round Table on Sustainable Palm Oil. We have the Malaysian Certified Sustainable Palm Oil. And we have other countries that have their own certification scheme. So it's one crop that is being certified by different schemes out there. So that is how serious we have taken sustainability. Yes.
Absolutely. And certainly that's the direction we need to be going. We're going to take a break, but once I come back, we'll be talking about the promotion of responsible consumption of these particular products. We're taking a short break right now. We'll be right back speaking to the CEO, Belvinder Sron, Chief Executive, Malaysian Palm Oil Council. We'll be right back.